Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So tell me a little bit about your music.
My music,
Yeah.
I'm Joshua James. I'm an indie folk singer based out of Kansas City, heavily inspired by my favorite band, which is the Avett Brothers.
So let's say, so what inspired you? Like, what inspired you to write music?
To be honest, there's this story my mom always tells. When I was like 5 or 6, she brought me to some park, and I guess I was like singing a song, like standing on some bricks, and I was like, "Mom, one day you're gonna come to a concert, and you're gonna have to sit down and watch me sing." And so, like from a young age, I was always singing songs in my bedroom and whatnot. And then I don't know. I picked up the guitar in high school, and I sucked for like 6 years. And then I was crushing on a girl, and I was like, I'm gonna write her a love song. So that was my first song, and I sang it to her, and she really liked it. But at the end, I was like, "So what do you think?" She was like, "That's cool, but who is it for?" And she had no idea. Like I wrote it for her, and so it just like didn't work out. But that's where I got my start writing music.
Do you have any favorite songs you've written before?
Do I have any favorite songs? Yeah. My most favorite song I've ever written is a song called Changing that I wrote about a year ago. I was like fresh in like the dating scene after going through a bad relationship. And I had been on a string of just like first dates that went all right, but they weren't really going anywhere. Uh, and I had realized I was like, like the way I used to approach dating in the world, it's different now. I'm older. I'm older than I used to be. I just turned 30 this year. Uh, and so it was one of those songs where I was feeling defeated. Things didn't go great. And I sat down and I wrote it in like 25 minutes. And I think it's like one of the truest things I've ever written. It's just about how things are changing, and that's okay. But I have to acknowledge it.
Yeah. Who would you want to go on tour with if you got the chance to?
If I could go on tour with anyone, I would definitely go on tour with the Avett Brothers. In fact, I DM them on Instagram weekly to ask if I can open for them if they ever come near. I'm like, hey, they've never seen it nor responded, but I did go to a listening party for their new vinyl at Josie Records in KC, and they watched my story. So, I'm getting in. I'm getting in with the Avett Brothers.
Now, how did you meet Car Microwave?
So Car Microwave, there used to be this bar in KC, actually in Walden, Missouri, called the Piano Room, that a bunch of myself and my friends used to go to. It was so much fun. There was an open mic on Wednesdays, but this bar didn't have a sign on the windows. It was in the strip mall, and when I first went, like the entire parking lot was under construction, so you couldn't even like it didn't look like it existed. I had just moved to KC and I had Googled open mics near me, and it was that and the Rhino. So I was like, I went to the Rhino, which I love. I love the Rhino, but I went to the Piano Room, and that's where I met two of the members, who we called the Kates at the time, Caitlin and Katie, and they were playing music together. And then slowly over the course of like a year of knowing them, we saw them form this band called Microwave. And then Parker and Kirsten are really close friends now. And then my band, Joshua James and the First Aid Kit, our first show ever was actually opening up for their album release show.
Oh, that's cool. Small
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. So I consider us always like we're like sister bands, we're like two flames operating at the same time. It's cool.
Have you done any other shows in Kansas City?
Yeah, I've done quite a few shows. For instance, tomorrow, as of recording this, is Arts in the Park in North KC, and we're headlining the second stage, not the main stage, but we're still headlining. Who cares? We're headlining the second stage tomorrow at like 5:30, and then we're playing. We've got a Grinders gig lined up. We're playing Tin Roof. In 2 weeks, I'm hosting a block party, which you should come if you can make it. It's completely free. June 21st, we've got 6 bands playing over the course of 3 hours. I got permits to shut down the street in front of my house, so we're like making it a whole shindig. It should be fun. But yeah, we just got back. I'm wearing a bracelet right now. We just got back from a festival out of town, a camping festival called Flux down in Arkansas.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
we played all over. Yeah.
Never heard of that festival. Never. I haven't been to any
So I'm from
festivals recently.
no.
No.
Where?
I
So
mean,
are you from, KC?
yeah, yeah. I just went to, well, yeah, I was born here in Kansas City, but
Yeah.
I went to college at the in Delaware, but that's about it.
How is that? I don't know a thing about Delaware.
It's
Do you like
just,
Delaware?
yeah, I liked it. It's a small, it's like Lawrence, but it's like very small and like everything is close
Yeah.
together, and you can go
Yeah. That's like
everywhere you want to go.
because it's all
Because
like right there.
yeah, because you can go to Boston, you can go to New York, and all those
See,
fun
I'm in love with New
places.
York. I've been in New York like once a year for the past 3 years because I work for a company that's based out of New Jersey. So they fly us to Jersey, and then I always take those a weekend trip to New York. I love New York. That and Chicago. I think Chicago is probably my favorite city in the country.
But I mean, you got Philadelphia. I mean, everywhere you go, it's so easy to get
Yeah.
everywhere because it's so close. But what kind of was it hard to come up with like your bands?
Like to find the members for the band.
Hmm.
It was interesting. So Car Microwave reached out to me over Instagram. Was like, hey, it was Parker. I know you know Parker. Reached
Hmm.
out to me. Was like, hey man, we have this album release show. At the time, I was singing with this girl, Margot Reed, who used to live in KC. So her and I used to do shows together. And they were like, hey, would you want to open the show with like Margot and do like a duet? And I was like, yeah, that'd be fun. And I was actually at the piano room that night. And I was like, it'd be cool if we built a band just for this show. And so at the time, Noah McNair and Jansen Wooten. Noah was my original lead. Uh, what was he playing? He was playing, we called it the electrolyte, it was like the synth. And then Jansen Wooten played drums. And so I just reached out to them. I was like, hey guys, I'm doing this show. Do you have any interest in like just forming a band for the show? And they were like, yeah, sure, sounds fun. So we did a bunch of practices and then we played the show. And at the end, like everyone loved it. And so we had this conversation like, well, should we make this an actual band as opposed to just like being a one-time thing? And everyone was like, yeah. So everyone was on board, and that's how we got got the band started. It wasn't intentional; it just kind of like formed together for Car Microwave.
Well, that's a funny name, though.
Car Microwave.
Yeah.
Do you know about Truck Oven and their dastardly ways?
I
Car
have
Microwave has what?
I do have the T-shirt, but I mean,
Yeah.
but
In the lore of Car Microwave, Truck Oven is this rival band that everybody hates. And so at a Car Microwave show, you scream death to Truck Oven because we don't like Truck Oven.
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Was it what did was it hard to come up with your name for the show for your project, or is
The
that
first aid kit. It's been being named Joshua James in the first aid kit has actually been quite a problem. One, there's a really big folk artist named Joshua James already, and there's another musician in Kansas City named Joshua James. On top of that, First Aid Kit is a pretty like world renowned band. Folk, it's like I think it's 2 female singers, like a really really famous band, and we didn't know that when we came up with the name. So we've had people come to shows thinking they were seeing this like world renowned band, and then it's us who will become a world renowned band, but we've had people like our very first show. Someone showed up looking for Joshua James, who like it's like on Spotify. You can find him, and they actually left. They walked out of the first show before we went on because we weren't the band they thought they were going to want to see. But the name itself kind of like we were all sitting in a bar at a Jack's summer show at the Brick in Kansas City, and it was me, Noah, and Jansen. We were just throwing out names, and I was like, "Well, the First Aid Kit, Joshua James and the First Aid Kit sounds cool." And we were like, "Yeah, that sounds cool." And then it works out because we call ourselves, everyone in the band and fans of the band are all called Band-Aids because we all aid in the band. I think it kind of works out. So we're just like a bunch of Band-Aids, and we make up your First Aid Kit.
Yeah. What is that noise in the background? It sounds like water playing.
You probably hear my AC. I know there's no water on it. Yeah, it's AC. Right here where my desk. So this is where I work as well. I'm actually talking about the AC vent is like right underneath it, so I try to shut it off. So it should be shutting off soon.
Oh, well, I mean, I work my table is in the living room, kind of like living room slash kitchen.
Yeah, we're in the same. We're in living room's right there, kitchen's right there. Like I'm in just like this middle tiny area. But it's the only spot in the house where there's like an actual desk. So here we are.
Yeah, I mean that's wherever I make my cookies on this side, and then the side just lay around if I ever get a chance to lay around.
Did the noise stop? Because the AC just kicked off.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right, wait. What's your story? Before you talk to me, tell me about your podcast. Tell me about the inspiration for the podcast and what made you want to do this.
Oh, well, I started in college. Two Guys in the Sound System was two people.
Yeah.
So it was me and my best friend Austin, and we were driving to where his family lives in Delaware, so in Philadelphia, and we were just thinking of Two Guys in the Sound System. And we said, "Oh, that's a great name." So we came up with that, and we brought it, and then we just took that name and told the station that we wanted that name for our show, and we call ourselves Two Guys in the Sound System, and I play a lot of local.
Where's your best friend now?
He lives in the East Coast still.
Does he still help out with this?
Once in a while, but I take it over.
Yeah, I actually in college, I managed the radio station for my college campus, and I also had a podcast with my best friend Tim. It was the Tim and Josh show, and so I'd play local acts, and then our podcast on the air.
I mean, I still do it. I mean, it ends on the 23rd of August, but I do get opportunities to come back once in a while in the summer.
That's cool.
So it just keeps on playing live on college radio when everybody's there, or if they're not.
Yeah.
And I guess it helps bring more people to listen to all the people that I've been interviewing and playing their music for so many years.
So they're playing it at the college campuses still? They play your podcast, or they play these recordings? That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's in Delaware?
Yeah.
Hi, everyone in Delaware who's listening to this.
So it's just like, it's crazy. So I would post the episode, and then I would send them all the episodes, and then they drop it into the feed of the station or something.
Yeah, that's really cool. If you drive through, so I'm from Arkansas. If you drive through Conway, Arkansas, I used to manage the radio station, and I filmed record a bunch of bumpers, you're listening to KUCA 91.3. And you can still hear my voice, little kid me, little college age me, you're listening to KUCA 91.3 The Bear. And I'm like, I can't believe they're still playing me on those channels. But it's cool. I thought it was so cool. I got you ever play the video game Portal? Ever
No.
heard of Portal? It's like a video game. Well, there's a character from that called GLaDOS who I was able to put her voice clip in like one of the ads, and it was one of my like highest achievements. Like working at the station was getting my favorite video game like airtime on the radio.
Well, then I did a couple of great interviews when I was there in Delaware. I got to talk to
Yeah,
Rachel Ray's husband. Um,
that's cool. And you're doing that interview with that girl we saw at Record Bar next week, aren't you?
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, she was
Alex.
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know she used to be on 2 TV shows though?
So Parker told me. So I looked her up after the facts, like while we were there. I was like, oh, because she was in like what was the TV show? She was also in a movie that I had seen. I think she was in Scooby Doo 2 as an extra.
Oh, that's fun. Well, she was
Yeah,
in
Monsters Unleashed.
she's been on So Weird. That's on Disney.
Yeah,
That's like ghost kind of shows.
that's cool.
And then she's also was on a show called Instant Star, and that was all about her as a musician and how she like.
Is that how is that how you found out about her? Because it seemed like you went to Record Bar because you knew she was playing, and you
Yeah,
went to see her specifically. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's cool. There's some
that,
there's some really cool acts that come through KC that you can catch at Record Bar.
I mean, that was like when I found out she was playing. I said, "Oh my gosh, I have to buy these tickets."
So gotta go.
She's never gonna come back if I don't go. And I knew she was here. I knew she was here in Kansas City a long time ago, but I couldn't get tickets. So,
Yeah.
and then I kind of said, let's just do it and just buy these tickets. And then I asked my sister.
And then watching the interaction, you and your sibling really care for each other. I could tell, like you guys were having a blast up there. I like watching at the stage. That was so cool to watch.
Well, she was a little drunk at the show, and I was like, I was trying to.
I was a little drunk at the show too.
I mean, I was like, oh my goodness. I didn't want to get her mad because I was like, she was asking me all the time, look, why I was not like raising my hands up and said, well, I just like to get into the show, like to see the artist.
Right. That's what I enjoy it. Right.
And she, I guess,
right. I'll enjoy it the way I'm gonna. Yeah.
She
Music is meant to be enjoyed, however.
She didn't understand it.
So I'm a big like head bobber. Like I do that a lot and I shake my hair. I actually grew my hair out so I could do that. And I was at this concert and this girl came up to me and was like, why are you shaking your head? I was like, because that's how I want to enjoy the music. Like, get out of my way. I'm not hurting you. You're not hurting me. You go enjoy the show how you want to enjoy the show, and I'll enjoy the show how I want to enjoy it.
But yeah, I've been watching her since when I was a teenager on that channel called The N when it was popular back in the day. So they had like so many Canada shows on it.
Yeah, I remember that. I think Degrassi was on the channel too.
Mm-hmm. Degrassi.
I remember that.
So many other crazy shows on there. But tomorrow I get to do some more music with Nick, so I'll be doing fun kind of music. I'm trying to record some new songs, but rewriting them. Or
do you play? Do you play, or do you sing, or what do you do?
I do like spoken word, so I kind of record and then like my voice, and then I do like sometimes I put it on there like digital sounds, and then sometimes I have people play on it, so it feels like like it's real, something's real on there.
Are you on Are you on Spotify?
Yeah, I have a couple of songs on there, that when you were talking about people, a lot of people have your name. Well, the whole point is, I have the same problem. Everybody has my name.
Right.
So the last time somebody, one of the there's a Daniel in the Canada or the U.S. on that side of the country, and they asked
Yeah.
me to change my name. I said no, I'm not going to change my name because it's hard to change your name on Spotify. So I kind of just kept it and just let it deal with it.
Just let it be. That's the way I say. I'm like, look, there may be other Joshua James. My name is Joshua James, so I'm not gonna come up with a new name. No, I like my name.
So I don't know. There's no other fun name to use. I mean, I could use my last name is James, but
It'd be Daniel James, Joshua
yeah,
James, Daniel James.
yeah,
I like it. You'd be DJ for short.
yeah. Well, so everybody puts that DJ at the end of it. Sometimes I use it. I
Yeah.
mean, normally I say DJ Dan when I do my um, intros on my podcast.
Yeah. I think I saw that on one of the Instagram messages said DJ Dan on it.
Yeah. So, would you ever hear? Would you want your songs to be played on shows? Have you ever getting started on that?
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want their music played? I want my music played literally as many places it can be played. I want people to hear it. Have you talked to, do you know, there's a guy in the town called Ryan Johnson, or he goes by Foxland? He
Yeah.
just put out a cover of Lose My Mind, my song Lose My Mind today. So like it just went live on Spotify and it was really cool to hear. I was like, he just sent it to me. I didn't know he was going to do it. And then he was like, hey, bro, I covered your song and I put it on Spotify and it sounds really, really good. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, that's so cool. So yeah, I want my music to be played anywhere.
Have you gotten it anywhere at all?
I mean, we've been on the radio a few times. There's a few other like local stations that's reached out. I know they play us, and then we're on rotation in some of the local spots and like in town. So I know we play on like custom radios, like in like restaurants and stuff around town. But I haven't been on a show or like used as background. But I don't know if you've listened to Lose My Mind, but it would be great as a background song. I think it'd be so cool if I got it like on a Netflix show. It'd be sick.
I have a friend in Nashville that has got her songs played and synced, and a couple of her songs got played on Dance Moms
That's cool.
years ago, and some series on shows on Netflix. So that was kind of fun to watch. But
that's cool. It's gotta be like a nice little payout too, so that way you can like invest it more in your music.
yeah. If you did a show with anybody in Kansas City, who would you want to play with?
With anyone, with any local artists in KC that I haven't played with already?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've played with Friendly Thieves before. When we first started, we did a show at Lemonade Park, but I'd love to do a show with them again as well. And then there are some artists that play at like the Ship in town, and I haven't got to play at the Ship yet, so I think it'd be cool to play with them. Kirstie Lynn's amazing. I'd love to do something with her. I don't know. I'm lucky enough that all of my friends who make music, I've played with almost all of them. I've done a lot of shows. In our first year as Joshua James and the First Aid Kit, we did over 20 shows. So I was able to hit a lot of the goals. Right now it's more venues that I have targeted. So like the Ship, I want to do something with Manor Records if I can. The Levee would be cool. I think my buddy Keelan Van, he plays guitar. It'd be cool to do a gig and have him like fill in on guitar and shred because he's insane. But I'm lucky enough that all of my friends, all of the local acts that I'm fans of, I'm also friends with. So I get to play with them, and we have jams at the house all the time, and I get to see them all the time and make music with them all the time.
Have you heard of Michael Stanton Armstrong?
Mm-mm. That's not a name I know.
Well, he's a really good musician. Um, he's he's in the Missouri side. Um, but I
Is
play
he a
him up.
solo artist?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? There is one, a Lazy Projector. There's a local act called Lazy Projector who's only had 2 shows or 3 shows since I've moved to KC. I think it's just a guy who makes music at his house and like he maybe has a day job or something, but he really doesn't perform a bunch. But like I'm genuinely a fan of what he does, and I've met him twice. But I'd like to do a show with him. I think that'd be really cool.
I mean, there's a lot of things I would like to do in the city because it's kind of hard trying to find venues that have wheelchair accessible. And
Yeah,
there's
I mean the
only
Rhino is definitely wheelchair accessible.
it's there's so many other, like the record bar is okay, um, but some of the venues that I really would love to play at, or not play at, but book a show at, there's
Yeah,
it's so hard to find a place how they get up to the stairs, or just do somewhere like coffee shop or something.
yeah. I would think Grinders might be I wheelchair accessible because it's just a lawn. Can as long as you can push a wheelchair through like grass, but there's no stairs. I don't think at Grinders. That and then obviously the Rhino. There's music at the Combine. There's no stairs there. You could hang out at the Combine and listen to music. There's an open mic there every Thursday night.
Man, there has to be other places in the Kansas City that has a disabled, but um,
Yeah,
it's kind of tough. Living with a being in a wheelchair and getting around is hard, but it's
yeah.
it's
No, I can imagine.
tough once in a while. I mean, I was not like this. Like this happened when I came back from college. Like everything kind of hit on me. So I mean, I was normal. I could walk. Like before I was in college, I was walking normal, and then everything happened after that.
What happened?
My legs like went out on me. Like
Like what was the cause?
I no well I have HSP. It's spastic kind of. My legs go out on me once in a while. I fall once in a while, but um, I did um fall like fell on my leg, my ankle, and it broke my ankle, and then I just I don't know. It just gets worse every once in a while. It's hard to explain, but it's
Yeah,
now that it's I can't walk, it's hard. So it's just I'm stuck in this wheelchair. But
well, I can imagine. Yeah,
it's life. I still do what I love to do, so it keeps me going.
good, good. Still doing your podcast. Still going to shows.
Yeah. It's hard, but I'm getting there. That's why I do these benefit concerts because I want to see live music play, and I love supporting
Yes.
music and supporting
Were
the
you able to talk
you know,
to the Rhino, by the way, and set up something?
yeah. It's already booked.
Good, good,
Um,
good, good.
it's on August the 29th. And I have 3 bands playing. And I have the Billy Bats, I have Amble Hunt, and I have Brody Buster.
Nice.
Have you heard of any of those?
I've not heard of any of those, but I'm sure I'll be there, and I'm excited to hear them.
Okay, well,
Most nights of
Brody
the week, I'm
Brody
at the Rhino.
Brody Buster is one talented artist in Kansas City. He's very popular.
Yeah.
He's a jazz and blues
Ooh.
artist, and they totally. And then the Billy Bats, I had them play at my last benefit concert last summer, and they they rock the house down. That's how good they are. Like the
Cool.
house, the
Good.
venue is shaking. That's how good they are.
Good.
So
So they're fun.
yeah, I wanted to have four people play, like four bands,
Uh-huh.
but the last band I really wanted, like um, David George, um, but he was not available. So I kind of said, I'll just do three.
Yeah. Three's still good. Three's golden for a Rhino show, anyways. I was at a show at the Rhino last night, and there were three bands, and it was great. There's some out of town band like Jed Elliott, I think his name was. They had this saxophone that was, oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was a great show
So,
last night.
oh yeah, I'm very excited. Just trying to get a lot of people to come and donate
Yeah,
money and do all that fun stuff.
you
So
should reach out to KKFI and see if you can get some airtime there and to talk about it.
always I try sometimes, and they don't even answer me back. I don't understand why. Like trying to
It's,
get
I
my
mean,
music,
they're,
getting my music on there is so hard to get on there.
yeah. I think you should
But
like find specific shows and reach out to the people who actually do the shows, like the individuals who host the shows, as opposed to like the KKFI page.
but um, but I did do an interview with this guy at the it's like at the ice house, but like there's this building right next to it. It's like a radio station, kind of basement radio station. Um, and I went there a couple of years ago when my EP released, or one of my singles released, or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. What's like on your plan for this week? I know you were talking about you have a show coming up. You
Yeah, there's a show tomorrow, the North KC Arts in the Park festival, and then really we have a show the following week. We're playing with Swoovy, the Chunk, and who else is on that bill? Swoovy, the Chunk, us, and Gabrielle, and that's at Chef Tito's next Friday. But really, after the show Saturday, it's all focused on the block party we're throwing in 2 weeks. Since it's a completely free event, I'm hoping my goal is to have 70 people show up. I hope it's free. It's free music. We're selling some food. We'll have some drinks. I think people will show up. I don't know. So that's kind of my focus for these next like 2.5 weeks. Is just like try to make that event as cool as I can make it. And the goal is next year we're doing a 3-hour event this year. Next year I hope to host like a full day festival. That's the ultimate plan.
Now, how do you do a festival though?
I mean, you got to secure a venue and then secure acts. Luckily, I have enough friends who play music. I think I could book a rather successful festival. I used to be part of this thing called Underground Homies, where we did we did music for every Made in KC location every weekend, and we threw a festival last year called Homieville at Lemonade Park. It was a full day event, and that went really well. So I think I just have to reach out to people in the community and get people on board, but I think I can do that. But this is kind of the testing ground to see if people show up, if people show interest, and if they do, then next year I'm going to make it bigger and better.
Have you played like any on people's decks? 'Cause I've seen somebody's doing those, playing live on people's decks.
I did
Like,
like Porch Fest last year. In fact, if you look at the video for Porch Fest, the song they used in the background is my song, like the recap video for Porch Fest last year. So I've done that.
is that very popular in Kansas City? Like first Fridays?
Yeah,
and
Porch Fest. Porch Fest. First Fridays is, I mean, that's tonight. I'm hosting a stage at First Fridays tonight with Z and Z. But yeah, Porch Fest is once a year, and that's pretty popular. It was like last year was all my friends were playing all across the city.
Do you have a favorite venue you like to play? If you do,
Favorite venue? I mean, the Rhino, just hands down, just because the community around the Rhino is amazing, and I love all the people there. And it's always my friends are there. That, and then there's a house venue in town called the Garden. I've played there, and they're really sick too.
well, I've seen the garden around. Like I've seen it online, and people say it's amazing. But is it? I've seen pictures of it's, but where is it at?
One sec. The Garden is on Union Hill. It's a house venue, and so there's a stage in the backyard, and then a lot of the shows they also host at Blip Roasteries in the West Bottoms.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I help out with that. I'm on the board for that, so I help out a lot with the booking and putting the shows on. We just had our Pride show last Saturday, and it went really well. We sold like 50 tickets, I think, which is not bad at all. We just switched to a new location and people still came out, so that was good.
What does Kansas City do for Pride?
I mean, there's a lot. Like today, there's Pride Fest. I think it's today. There's stuff happening all throughout the month. There's a lot of concerts and drag shows, and just there's an event typically in front of the Nelson Atkins. There's like a free concert and show, and like Pride Fest is typically going on. So it's a fun time. I like Pride. Pride's sick.
Yeah, everybody loves Pride. I would do. Never been, but it sounds fun.
I went either last year or the year before. I've been once to actual Pride, and then I'll probably be at a bunch of like smaller shows because like the entire month, right? There's Pride shows all month.
Does Kansas City do a parade at all, or is that just like the big cities?
Yeah, Casey has a parade. There's a big parade before Pride Fest. It's over by the Nelson Atkins leading into like the plaza area. Like right there is where the street is that they do the parade.
Oh, small world. Didn't know that. I mean, my cousin goes to a lot of Pride stuff because he's gay, but
Yeah. I think we're all a little gay. It's okay.
but
The whole world's on a spectrum. Love is love is love. Yeah.
yeah, but it was just like, I don't know, it's just like, because he lives in the LA area, and so it's like they do Pride every day. But
I'm sure Pride Fest in LA has got to be like crazy, like wild.
I mean, it would be fun to go to one. But
All right, Daniel, I gotta get off this call and get ready for my First Fridays event this evening.
all right, well, thanks for doing this with me.
Hey, thanks for talking. Please reach out. We can talk some more.
All right,
All right, I'll talk to you later, man.
you too.